Morning all. I'm back at Bures finally, and I say finally because I drove an hour to get here and then got here and realised I'd left all my camera paraphernalia, my phone charger and everything at home, so drove an hour back and then back again 3 hours. So I'm here finally. I'm at Bures Lake, run by the London Anglers Association. 80-year-old beautiful lake full of lily pads, a lot of fish in here. It's on the Essex-Suffolk border, one of many venues owned and run by the London Anglers Association. Ridiculously good value for money, £65, and there's so many venues, canals, stretches of the Thames, Hampshire Avon, 7 lakes in and around the Suffolk, Essex area. You've got the famous Hemmingford Grey, all for 65 quid a year. And it's cheaper if you're an OAP like I am. So got my bait out. I'll go through what bait I put in a bit. Got my rods out. I'll go through my rigs at some stage as well, and I'll get back to you as and when, and hopefully it'll be when. But you know me, always the optimist, but aren't we all? So cheers guys, thanks for watching as always. Don't forget, subscribe, like, share, do whatever you need to do, help me get my numbers up. Cheers, thank you. Right, so this is my mix for Bures. So I've loosely crushed up 3 of these full up with cell boilies, but as you can see they're not completely crushed, they're just broken, probably the best term. So there's 3 lots of that have gone in. Then I've got some freshly cooked maize and hemp, which I did last night. In fact, I did last night frozen, some of it's still frozen. So I'm going to put about half of that in. There's a lot of maize in there. There's a lot of fish in here. So you can see how much maize there is. There's probably about 1.5 pints I've put in there. Then I'm going to put some 6mm mainline cell pellets. I'm going to put a good amount of those in. Then we're going to go with some 4.5mm trout pellet from Dean's Tackle in Clacton, my favourite shop. Good amount of those. So a lot for the fish to feed on. I'm going to put some of this krill active mix, because that attracts the tench over here. It's interesting, the carp seem to prefer the cell and the tench prefer the sticky baits krill, whether it's the pellet, which I could use Sonia baits ones, or whether it's the sticky baits 12mm krill boilies. Either way, the tench seem to prefer that, and the carp seem to prefer the cell. Interestingly, I know if you watch previous videos, I always use pink pop-up corn on top of my boilies. For some reason my GoPro switched itself off. Perhaps I leant on it, the remote. Anyway, yeah, as I was saying, I use pink pop-up corn on top of whatever, pellet, boilie, whatever. Here they definitely prefer the yellow, and in particular the carp do. Anyway, there's some krill active mix going in, good amount of that. That binds quite well, so that's quite handy to use that, because there's a lot of particle in this. And then some black crumb, again, which I get from Dean's Tackle in Clacton. So there's a good amount of that going in. You can see it's probably about nearly half a bag. And then some of my old favourite, the micro pellet, and it is a micro pellet. And it just, my opinion is, it just gets the fish grazing. So I'm going to put a good dosh of that in. And then what I'll do is I'm going to actually ground bait it out. Like as in, like, make it up as ground bait, but I'm going to put it out in the spod. So because I've found a nice clear area between the lily pads, I'll show you roughly where I'm at, so you can see in front of you. So there's a clear area almost directly in front of me, just to the left of the pads that are on my right hand side. So yeah, got to get my bait in, mix it up, get it in, and see what happens. Seen a few fish moving already, so I'm happy with that. I find clear areas, because I mentioned I've found a couple of clear areas earlier on a very weedy water such as Bures, is I tie a feeder to the end of my marker flow. If you tie a lead, 2 ounce lead, 3 ounce lead, because of the shape of it, it'll pull through quite often the weed without really telling you how much is there. This will tell you everything that's there, and when you find a clear area with this, using a feeder, it's a clear area and you can confidently put your bait in and not have to worry about the consequences of your bait, your hook lengths being buried in weed or covered in weed so that the fish can't get at it. And yeah, I mean, a lot of people just cast into the weed over here and hope for the best, but you know what I'm like. So and just quickly, I thought I'd mention about this Bures, which is run by the London Anglers Association, as I mentioned earlier. Pretty much most of the swims, certainly at least 2/3 of them, you can park behind. And here's an example. So there's my bivvy, there's my car. So lovely having an electric barrow, but great when you don't need one. First fish of the session. I'll keep it out of the weeds and out the pads. Exactly where it's just gone. There's no place to fall, nowhere to run. You left me with silence and a love that's undone. There we go. First tench of the session. It's about 7:30 in the evening. Only a little one. Good nick though. There we go. Second carp of the session. Mirror, as you can see. Lovely fish. Immaculate condition. Turn around. Have a look at both sides. There we go. Get her back. Get the kettle on, I think. Morning all. So I thought I'd quickly go through my rigs. 2 ounce lead, pre-running, but as you can see, I'm on a leader, but it's this Klingon stuff from Nash, and it's £40, but it's lead free, and I've got 6 foot of that on, and purely because of the lily pads. The lily pads are more likely to cut through, even though I'm using an £18 mainline, than they are through this. And I've upped the hook length to a £15 braid, which is Gardner. Krill, boilie, the active ones that got like a coating on them. Bit of bright pink pop up. Interestingly, the pink has worked better in spite of me yesterday saying yellow works better. So I've had one rod pretty much for about 18 hours on yellow, never had a beep on it. All the fish and the indications came on the pink. So as always, a little bit of tungsten bead. Above the lead, and this is the important bit, I like it to have a stopper bead above it. So I've got this, and basically it's from Tasca, and it's tungsten. You see how easily I pulled that off. I push that on, and when the lead hits it, it's enough to set the hook, but then the bead pops off, making the rig not a suicide rig if I do happen to part company with it, with the fish, so the fish can shake the lead free and then eventually shake the hook free. I hope that makes sense. Cheers guys. I said about I'm using the pink pop-ups, and yesterday I said the fish in here definitely prefer the yellow. Well, that wasn't the case this session. I had one rod with yellow pop-up, bit of corn, and one rod with the pink bit of corn. Every indication and every bite and every fish that I had was on the pink. So now I've got both rods on pink. That's what's called living and learning. So there you go. Nice tench actually. Blimey. That is a nice. Take a look at this tench. Funny old mouth on it. It's decent size, as you can see. Apart from the mouth, which I'm covering with my finger, not great. Has a few hooks in its mouth in its time. One of the old fish, I think, rather than the little 2-pounders that are in here. Happy with that. Morning all. Well, that was an interesting session. Finished on 3 carp and 3 tench. One half decent tench, a couple of small ones. That lovely common and a decent mirror. And I had a small common as well, probably about 10, 11 pound. I didn't weigh it. Became increasingly hard to get bites, get indications as the 48 hours went on. Bit worried there might be low oxygen level in the water. A couple of dead eels were found yesterday, and they're the first things to go. But what was really noticeable was there was no mosquitoes at all, and I haven't seen any dragonflies or damselflies or anything like that, which again is indicative of a decrease in oxygen level. That said, you'd think with the amount of Canadian pondweed in here and English pondweed, which produces oxygen, that it would stabilise, but I think it probably needs looking at and investigating. Yeah, certainly because of the 2 eels. Enjoyed my session. Gaz was next to me. Unfortunately, he managed to hook a couple of 3 or 4 fish. Each one of them buried him in the lily pads, and they are difficult to get out of the lily pads. Yeah, so I lost one in the pads, and I had one, a big common, buried itself in the pads, but managed to get it out. I hope you've enjoyed what I've offered up. I think most people on here have struggled to catch a fish or 2. It's certainly not as good as it normally is, but I know the London Anglers Association will get it sorted, and John, the bailiff here, he's on it. So hope you've enjoyed what I've had to offer up this time around, and don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, all the rest of the things. Hit the bell. I'm not sure what that does. I think it notifies you if I put another video up. I'm finding my way with YouTube, but I'm getting there. I see a lot of you enjoyed the one on the great ooze with the seal, so unfortunately I couldn't conjure up anything like that this week. No seals in here. There's no otters because there's an otter fence and it's been here for a long time. So yeah, thanks for watching as always, and I think it might be London Anglers Association stretch of the Great Ooze next week, 10 mile bank. Yeah, so looking forward to that. If not, I might go back to Alresford to catch a few tench and maybe 1 or 2 carp as well. There's some big tench in Alresford, very big, run by Paxman's Angling Association. Very reasonably priced ticket. Anyway, as I said, thanks for watching, and catch you soon.